So to bring it all back, I guess our church, St. Paul's, has been there for about 50 years. And when I first came, we have to understand that St. Paul's began with a Sunday school, and it was more like a sister-daughter church from First United Church, not too far away from downtown. First United Church. It was founded in 1958. That's when we actually built a church building. But I think what's really important throughout 50 years was that the sense of spirit of mission was very important. So they had this, what was undergirding everything from the beginning of St. Paul's was sense of reaching out to the community. So that has always been there. So when I came to that church, just like any other United church, I think the church was also in a trend of declining trend, growing of membership, and people were getting older and more seniors and less youth and young people. So which is no different than many other United church and no different than many other mainline churches out there. Our church, our worship service, we usually had around 150 people and still around 125 to 150 people every Sunday. We don't, Kelowna itself is made out of baby boomers because a lot of people actually come to Kelowna to live as a retirement town. So it's considered to be more like a retirement, but kind of resort. 90% Caucasian background. So our church is it's reflective of our community. So 90%, over 90% of Caucasian background is people coming from inner province, different province, inter-province coming back, and quite affluent people. But who are retired and who have some time to actually contribute to church as well. Now, we were financially quite sound. We didn't really need to have to change. We were not forced to change. We were not asking ourselves, so we have church property, a piece of property here, so we need just redevelop our property. We didn't say that at the beginning. We came out with a vision first. As I said before, we were asking ourselves, so what does St. Paul wants to be and do? What does God call us to be and do for the next 50 years? We were found on that ground of a mission. So how do we want to engage our culture and community? So we were much more proactive about 6 or 7 years ago. We were not being forced to change, and that's, I think, what's quite important in a lot of churches. Some of the churches that I hear and have conversation with some of the churches people is that they're being kind of forced to make some changes. We were not in that position. We were actually really proactive about making certain changes, and we were actually, through our communication and conversation and looking at the trend happening around us, and also in larger denominational-wise, we knew that the churches were declining in membership, and we need to do something before that really happens to us. So 6 or 7 years ago, we actually made a proactive choice to actually make certain changes. Building project came about 3 years after our visioning process. So what really undergirds everything is our missional zeal, but also over that there's a clear vision for the future. Sustainable ministry, and as I said before, radical welcoming and resonating worship service, and then building came later. Now, of course, whenever you make a lot of changes like that, not everybody will like it, because change means you go through a lot of losses. And when people find that they can talk about a lot of changes, but once they really realize what they have to endure, and what are some of the things that they will lose along the way, they will resist. And we've gone through some resistance to the church as well. But overall, we've overwhelmingly, over 80% of people, our congregation, we've had about 4 different congregational meetings and vote asking, even the board members been asking congregation whenever we could hit the milestone, we came back to congregation, we asked congregations, so what do you think? And over 80% of people always have said yes. And so that has given us a clear mandate to go ahead. Of course, we have lost some people along the way. It's something that we were expecting. But we try to connect with them as much as possible. But once I think the challenge of the leadership is that you give a lot of opening and you want to listen to what people have to say from right to left and through as much as possible, and give them a lot of room to actually freedom to permit people to speak and also give great ideas. And what we say all the time is that there is no bad ideas, and so we want to listen as much as possible. But I think when time comes, when there needs to be a make a decision, we were very clear about making clear decisions for the future. We didn't just talk forever. We didn't just analyze forever. We didn't just try to strategize forever. We just made, okay, I think it was about time to actually make a clear decision. We brought it back to congregation. But before that, whenever we go into the congregation, our board is wise enough to read the mood of congregation, so that if we were to have a certain vote, we almost 80% we would know how the vote will turn out. So that what it means was that the board was very connected with congregational mood along the way. So we didn't just, black and white, we just take this agenda of the congregation to say, you vote. We didn't do that. We just get a lot of communication, a lot of relationship, a lot of listening at the same time. So whenever we actually did a vote, we knew result will be positive, and of course, 4 congregational votes along the way came out around 80% and over. So that gave us kind of sense of mandate and support throughout. People are not, a lot of people are not comfortable with changes, and still they know they know there will be a lot of losses along the way. But what I really come back again, the sense of missional zeal. So they're willing to let go of their losses, willing to offer their faith to leave a sense of legacy for next generation, whatever the form of next generation might look like. So there's a great deal of faith, great deal of leap of faith, which is what St. Paul's is really all about this people who are deeply missional and people who are deeply faithful, and they're willing to sacrifice their benefit to extend to claim kingdom of God with community.